Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to the Whiskey Report. I am your host, Miles Kristen. On today's episode, I will be playing an interview and some music by Matthew Fischer, also known as Matty, or sometimes even Fatty is his nickname. Matt Fischer is a guy I actually met about 20 years ago when I first moved to Door County. And we became good friends. We had a friend who had one of those 1982 Toyota Supras that we would often drive around with him in, and we ended up all working at the same crappy restaurant as dishwashers at different times. And he was somebody that I would hang out with a lot. I'd go over to his house, and everybody in his family was a musician, so there were so many times I'd go over to his house and everybody was playing guitar. Matt Fischer, Matty, or also known as Fatty, he has actually moved off to Bangkok, Thailand, where he has a restaurant bar called Fatty's, and he gives this interview now via Skype while he's over there in Bangkok. And throughout the next couple hours, I'll be playing his music. And this is a guy, if you look up Matthew Fischer, you can find his music on all sorts of various avenues like Bandcamp and YouTube and so forth. Before we get started with the interview, I'll be playing a song by him. And before I play the song, I will just do a quick plug. Of course, you are listening to The Whiskey Report. I am your host, Miles Kristen, and this is on Corsair Radio, sponsored by Discourse Coffee Shop, a liquid space in Sister Bay, Wisconsin. And please take the time to help Corsair Radio get bigger. Things like checking out the Facebook page, sharing the link to the website and so forth. And if you ever want to see any of the videos that go along with my interviews, you can check out The Whiskey Report with Miles Kristen on YouTube. And in a moment, we will be playing our first song by Matthew Fischer, and we'll be playing his music all throughout the next 2 hours along with the interview. Thank you.
nothing good.
My name's Matthew Fischer. I'm from Door County, Wisconsin.
And you are currently living where?
Bangkok, Thailand. Lived
And are you?
here
What is that?
a large portion of my life.
What's that beer you're drinking?
That's a Leo. Yeah, that's like the PBR of Thailand.
Oh my God.
So sick.
I don't even know where we can start. I was thinking about it the other day. It's crazy to think we have known each other for about 20 years now.
Yeah, that's about right. Jesus, time flies.
I moved up to Door County in around the year late the later part of the year 2000, and
Bush era.
I mean your nickname has always been Fatty, and there was another guy whose nickname was Tubby. And
Right.
I hung out with you guys and a guy that we'll call Schwain, who, this guy literally put in subwoofers on his little boat just so he could play the Notorious B.I.G.'s Hypnotize.
That was a glorious time. I remember getting stuck on Chambers Island on that boat. I thought I was gonna die.
I remember getting stuck on we got stuck once with him on his boat on Horseshoe Island, and of course we had been drinking beers and whatnot, and I can't remember if we had the Coast Guard or like somebody else
Oh
tug
yeah,
us
that's
back.
right. It was Horseshoe Island. That was you. Were with us, man.
Yeah, and I
And
think
I like
somebody
to
like,
put my leather jacket over my head because all the waves were crashing over, and like it was totally scary.
oh my God, being a teenager in Door County in the early 2000s was so much damn fun.
It really was.
Okay,
It's fun,
so
man.
you play music. Both of your
I
brothers
do.
play music. I mean, I want to say it always seemed to me like everybody in your family was a musician in one way or another.
Yeah, pretty much somehow. Except for my little sister. She played the flute for a while, but now she plays the mom.
I remember one time I was at your house and it was like you and your brothers were all playing guitar, and then the dog came in and the dog started singing to the music.
Yeah, yeah, Doc. He would always sing along to the harmonica. There's a Pink Floyd video of a dog singing along to the harmonica. I guess some dogs would just strip them out that way. I don't know if he enjoyed it or if it was like unbearable. He would sing along all the time.
Okay, so you moved to Bangkok and you have started a well, describe what the business is. I mean, it's a bar, it's a restaurant, it's
Well, right now it's a fucking delivery service because we're not allowed to open. Uh, but yeah, it's a bar. It's a dive bar. It gets referred to a lot with food, and we've been around almost 10 years now, man. And
yeah, it's
you know, people like the food and stuff, and I'm lucky that we get to have an existence here.
that is so amazing. I mean, you moved out of Wisconsin, moved to a whole nother country, and have your own establishment. Like, uh,
Called Fatty's Bar and Diner. Got my name on the sign.
and you also do music out of the spot, or at least before everything happened
Yeah,
last
we
year.
have. Yeah, well, I'll say it again, but when I started this place, the whole point was to have a place to get, uh, you know, good and cheap American food and have shows, and I wanted to put on bands. That was a big part of it, and have like, local music here. So yeah, that's been a huge part of it since the beginning, and we've had some legendary shows, man. I had Ace Barzilay of Clem Snides come and play here.
And
That was pretty fun.
we were just talking about Camp David the other day, and I mean, most people,
Yeah,
especially outside of Door County, they hear Camp David, they think, oh, that retreat that presidents go to, and
right.
so how would you describe Camp David to somebody not from Door County?
Um, I don't know, man. It's tough. I kind of grew up there, really. Uh, hippie commune, kind of, you know.
I mean,
A lot of fun.
I'll never forget how I came across it. I mean, just like going up there or moving up there, and then I hear about like, oh, there's this old farm that's been turned into like a music venue, and there's a bunch of hippies that live there, and I'm like, this place sounds awesome. And then honestly, I don't think I can remember my first couple times there, just because I probably got so incredibly wasted. But
Yeah. That's the first time I ever smoked weed was at Camp David. My brother.
um I'll never forget. I went to a Camp David party, and it was like they would have these, especially way back when, they would have these like, parties, and there'd be, you have a band playing, and I was there like drinking till all hours in the morning. But it would also be, summertime. It'd be so warm you could just go pass out in a field, and it wasn't that big of
Oh
a
yeah.
thing. And I remember I went there and I drank, and I ended up like passing out in the grass somewhere. And I wake up the next morning, and I'm like hitchhiking back to my dad's house, and this guy in a pickup truck stops, and he picks me up, and it was Steve Kastner, the legendary web
Oh wow.
designer, activist, journalist guy. And he goes, "Oh, I'm on my way to go see Senator Russ Feingold at this event. You want to come with?" And I go, "Yeah, sure." And like, that was one of my
Beginning
first,
of your
like,
political career.
yeah, my long running political career, which I have actually not filmed anything outside of like doing interviews via Skype. I haven't filmed anything pretty much in a year. It's been either Skype interviews or videos of my dog.
Yeah. Well, those are fairly important, I think.
That was beautiful, man. Unfortunately, the battery died halfway through.
All right.
But we are recording again.
Yeah, you always had the camera, man. You did all kinds of stupid shit for the sake of the camera back in the day.
I
I
I
wish I
will
had some of those old videos, man.
I will definitely interject some of those videos into it. One of them, of course, was the time that I recorded you playing Radiohead "Karma Police," which
Yeah,
I just thought
that
was
one's
like,
you put that on YouTube, didn't you? I think
yeah.
that's shareable. You can Google that.
Get the lens cap on that bitch.
Up in Wisconsin State, where my parents happened to meet, there's a little town called Sturgeon Bay, where I've been wasting my life away. Well, I work in the nursing home, where I don't bring much money home. The people there die alone, but nobody weeps or moans. Up in Wisconsin, down in Sturgeon Bay. Up in Wisconsin, I'm wasting my life away. I got some friends round here, we hang out and drink lots of beer, till it all becomes perfectly clear there ain't nothing happening here. Some say I'm cynical, they say that the glass is half full. I don't believe that bull, it's driving me out of my skull. Up in Wisconsin, down in Sturgeon Bay. Up in Wisconsin, I'm drinking my life away. Wisconsin girls are mean, they think that they're queen of the scene, as they drive their Zamboni machines right over all of your dreams. Winters get so cold, it feels like I'm 100 years old. If it ain't nailed down, it's sold, 'cause you can't turn ice into gold. Up in Wisconsin, down in Sturgeon Bay. Up in Wisconsin, I'm wasting my life away. Everybody now. Up in Wisconsin, down in Sturgeon Bay. Up in Wisconsin, I'm wasting my life away.
Yeah. Oh my God. And just so many times. I mean, and then you probably remember. Like first, I was running around with the big VHS, like over the shoulder camcorder, and then it was the smaller camcorders, and then actually right here, and now I've gotten down to like the Canon was this bad boy was
camera.
still in great condition. I've used that for many years now, and now I've got it to the point where, you know, I got the rotating whatever you call it stick for the cell phone. So if I really want to go out, I can just take my cell phone and keep a perfect steady.
A gimbal, right?
The gimbal, yes, the gimbal, which is
my brother's got all kinds of camera gear lately, man. He's got all kinds of fancy stuff. Beaver, he's working with Piranha North Studios now. He's talking about maybe trying to make a movie this summer, which would be cool.
And you've mostly done acoustic, but you played some electric guitar as well, don't you?
Yeah, I've had a band out here since forever, kind of. Matthew Fischer and the Fishes, and we're actually working on a record now. Finally, after several years of playing together, we just started recording about a month or so ago. And yeah, finally gonna put out the rock and roll record. But yeah, man, I still try to keep writing songs and stuff slowly. I got about 3 records worth of backlog songs, so hopefully I can start putting them out. I put out a couple music videos earlier this year. So yeah, I'm just trying to do that. It's, you know, a passion project. All kinds of stuff I do that doesn't make me any money and takes a lot of time and energy.
How old were you when you started playing guitar?
Oh, I mean, when I started seriously doing it, I guess I was probably about 12 or 11 or something. But I used to just, I started playing guitar because I wanted to sing songs, uh, mainly funny songs about trying to make people laugh. You probably have some on video over the years.
I do. I do. I mean, there's so much stuff. I mean, I actually was looking at it not too long ago. In the 2004, I was running around doing the Billionaires for Bush stuff at the satire group at
Yeah,
the fall festival in Sister Bay, and you had a little you were playing underneath a little like tent or whatever. I mean, it was like raining most of the day and everything, and
yeah, that might have been the year that I quit. I quit my job to go play that show. I was supposed to go back to work after that, and I never went back.
that's the great thing about those summer jobs in Door County. I mean, there's like a dime a dozen with these hotel and restaurant jobs there, and it's like you could just basically go out and party, and then the next day be like, "Oh, I gotta work. I'm too hungover," and quit, and probably find another job 3 hours later.
Oh,
And I,
God bless Eric Scheller. He hired me back the next year. I
oh my
worked at
god.
that building for like 8 or 10 years almost.
For me, I think
Different owner.
going to Sister Bay, the funniest thing for me will always be the empty space where Beanie's Mexican restaurant was. That's
Yeah,
no longer there. And
that was my first job.
that was your first job.
First job ever. Yeah, washing dishes and
Yeah,
busting tables.
I
The
feel like
Schwaner.
there was Schwain, who this kid who rocked the amazing like 1981 all black Toyota Supra. I think the
That was
fact
his
that
passion.
we didn't all get killed in that thing, like the fact that a deer didn't pop out in the middle of the road one night and
Yeah,
just like there were times I
I
remember
barely
him.
remember riding in it. I remember him working on it all the time, but like it didn't run most of the time.
Oh, I remember him driving it, and his dad was in the back seat, drunk, going, "Drive it faster, drive it faster." And
Oh
I
man.
just remember seeing the odometer go 110, 120, and it was the odometer stopped, but I felt like we were still accelerating. And I'm just thinking, like, if a deer pops out on us right now, we're all dead. There's no surviving any sort of interaction with a deer right now. But
That's
you know,
just
he worked
total
at Beanies.
normality.
He worked at Beanies. You worked at Beanies. I worked at Beanies. We all worked at Beanies, which was actually it
Oh, these two.
didn't even dawn on me like what a racist, terrible name for a Mexican restaurant that was until
Yeah, I
years
didn't think
later.
about that. Jeez, I didn't think about that until right now.
Yeah, it was just like never. It was a terrible name, and the owner was a raging alcoholic, and I think we all kind of did the same thing where we would get a soda, pour a whole bunch of soda in, and then like top it off with a whole bunch of that cheap box wine, and get drunk as possible
Yeah,
off.
yeah, they didn't have a liquor license, so that they had margaritas with like wine or whatever. Oh shit, man.
Yeah,
So
they had lots of beer and
time.
lots of wine, but no actual. It's so funny. I mean,
When I think about what might have been, just you and me until the end. We would plant a garden in the yard, maybe save some cash, buy a brand new car. but my plan got fucked up. Must have finished off what was left there in my cup. What am I gonna be when I grow up? Now I think about what's going on. It's going wrong. It's going gone. You left me down here all alone, just waiting by the telephone. My plans got fucked up. Must have finished off what was left there in my cup. What am I gonna be when I grow up? What am I gonna be when I grow up?
And I think one thing I really always loved about Door County was the fact you would have so many people, a lot like Wisconsin Dells. You've got so many people from Europe and Asia and South America that come to work there. And so, like, growing up there in Door County, you know, you're in a little small area, but yet you get to meet people from all over the world.
Yeah, definitely, man. That was a huge part of my life for sure. Just the multiculturalism of all the employee housing and stuff, and meeting all kinds of crazy people from Poland and Bulgaria and stuff. And my wife, I met my wife, Piggly Wiggly.
Yep. So many people come to work for the Piggly Wiggly and just all the establishments of Door County. What was something you really loved about Door County?
Too many things to name. You know, it's just my home, really. I love summertime when all kinds of people from everywhere else come and think it's their home, you know.
Yeah.
And you just get to be crazy. I remember like squirting super soakers out the window at people just for fun and stuff. Just like all the tourists everywhere, just fucking with them, you know. I remember driving to Sister Bay and like we would yell out the window, "Sir, excuse me, sir, you dropped your wallet."
You dropped your wallet. Exactly. I was gonna say that was the best part. I remember doing that with our friend James a lot. Like, you know, "Sir, you dropped your wallet." And I'll never forget the time I'm driving with James and this older guy, he like turns around and he slaps his back pocket. He realizes he has his wallet. He realizes that we've messed with his psyche, and he just turns around and he goes, oh, fuck you. Fuck you. And it was such a great social experiment because it was like, it kind of like, for these people, they're on vacation and their wallet is everything to them at that moment. And if they think for a second that it's not in their pocket, even that it's just on the ground, and they freak out about it. Or other times, I remember, I'll drop his name. I was driving around with Joey Risch, and he would do this thing of meowing at people. We would drive, and he would just go meow, meow, meow at people.
Oh yeah, man.
Or of course, there's the class. Go ahead.
driving for others. You in the passenger seat, you hold the wheel, and then the guy driving would stick his whole body out the window. No hands.
I can't say I did that. And this is a terrible, gruesome story. But I think one of the funniest stories I'll ever remember about Door County was there was like a mobster named I think it was like David Borealis or something, was on the run, and he went up to Door County to
David Dallas, yeah,
the guy
murderer.
The guy goes up to Door County to hide some bodies, and for some reason the authorities know this guy might be up there, and they find him, but he had a Blockbuster card, and he's like, "No, I'm somebody else." And they looked at the Blockbuster card, and they're like, "Oh, okay, sir, move along, nothing to see here, go on." And then they find the guy.
Apparently that happened at the Coyote, and
yes,
before I worked there. But,
and then they find the guy.
Oh, you're not him.
You have a Blockbuster card. This is a valid form of ID. And then they find the guy later on burying bodies out in the woods, and it's like, oh, I guess a Blockbuster card wasn't sufficient.
He took some family hostage or something and lived in their basement for a while. That was scary, man. I remember when that was happening. Mark Raddatz, my stepdad, he went out and had a gun in his hand and shit. And was trying to make sure this guy wasn't on the property. Yeah. Crazy.
Oh my God. I mean, the fact you guys lived way north of me. And there were times I don't know what the hell I was doing now looking back on it. I used to hitchhike all over Door County because I was just
I was always sort of worried about you. I was
I mean, coming from Racine and everything, Door County, I'm like, oh, nothing bad's gonna happen up in Door County, and I would walk. I would walk for it was like, oh, my friends are up in the next town, and I'm 15 miles away, and I'll just walk for 3, 4, or 5 miles, and someone will give me a ride, and it worked out. I mean,
it was all you could do. I mean, geez, this was nobody had a cell phone or nothing back then. That was crazy. It's I want to go see my friends. I'll walk 20 miles.
And kids nowadays have it so nice with all the states that have legalized pot and so forth. I mean, back in my day, you used to have to walk, and it was an adventure, and you had to find somebody, and hope you didn't get ripped off, and
hide in the woods.
Hide in the woods, yeah. We had to go on nature hikes.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been saying that a lot lately to my friends. Geez, 14-year-old me would be so mad at myself for not just smoking all the pot I can get now. Crazy. It's becoming legal in Thailand even.
They are proposing it here in Wisconsin, but sadly, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I was actually thinking about it the other day because I was talking about it with Make Keen, the person who's helping put together the radio project, and I was talking to him about how my high school was really defined, and I was thinking about it because this year will be the 20-year anniversary of 9/11, and it's like, wow, I was a freshman when 9/11 happened, and then we went to Afghanistan, and then my junior year we went to Iraq, and then my senior year was the Bush-Kerry election, and it's like, what a crazy time the early 2000s were,
Yeah, but I mean, it's funny to say that and think about that, but look at what's fucking happening now, man. We had Donald fucking Trump as the president, dude. Whoa. We thought it was bad back then. Fuck this Bush guy, we gotta get rid of him. Whoa.
sound from here down below. Been buried 1,000 years, so don't wake me up. I don't wanna go, 'cause I've carved out some meaning underground with the cool breeze. And I don't mean to be fleeting. I'm staying gone, I'm not leaving. All the people up above, they go to work and fall in love. But I know where I belong, don't dig me up, I don't wanna go, 'cause I've carved out some meaning underground with the bugs and things. And I don't mean to be fleeting. Staying gone, I'm not leaving now. Oh no, no, I'm not leaving now. Oh no. Picking up a radio sound from here down below. Been buried 1,000 years, so don't wake me up. I don't wanna go, 'cause I've carved out some meaning underground with the rocks and things. I don't mean to be fleeting. I'm staying gone, I'm not leaving now. Oh no, no, I'm not leaving now. Oh no.
And for those of you just tuning in, you are listening to the Whiskey Report on Corsair Radio, sponsored by Discourse Coffee Shop, a liquid space in Sister Bay, Wisconsin. And on today's episode, we have been playing music by and an interview with Matthew Fischer, a Door County musician who now lives in Bangkok, Thailand, where he has started his own bar restaurant there. You can find Matthew Fischer's music on various social medias, YouTube, Bandcamp, so forth. Just Google Matthew Fischer. And before we get back to the interview, just a quick reminder to support Corsair Radio by sharing this link to your friends. Check out Corsair Radio on Facebook and other social medias. Once again, this is an interview and music by Matthew Fischer.
Oh my God. I mean, I remember, people, I couldn't do much being only in high school, but, that feeling of like, oh my God, if George W. Bush gets reelected, I'm moving to Canada. I mean, there's a whole movie about a character saying that. It was like, that was a real thing. So many people thought like, oh, if Bush gets reelected, I'm moving to Canada. Imagine if you could go back to 2003, 2004 and be like, oh, let me tell you, buddy.
Buddy.
This guy gets elected.
Better get to Canada right now. Go.
Yeah. And it's so funny because I think about it. It's like if you go back to the year 2000, you told somebody someday Donald Trump will be president, they wouldn't be surprised. They'd be like, yeah, a rich guy, a billionaire gets elected president. That's that's just going to happen. But the crap he said, it wasn't even until like the last 5 years that he really like let the bag out or whatever of like the crazy shit he really thought. Like, we knew he was a little nutty, but we had no idea like how far.
I think what's really happening too is that like everyone's getting sort of exposed, and people are now getting exposed to the reality of like these aren't people. These aren't people like you and me. This is like the whole fucking world is very, very dark and fucked up. These guys they're not like regular people. They're something like the picture of the human race at its worst and darkest is like these are very powerful people, and look at how fucked up they are.
I was thinking about it today. I was thinking about it, and I don't know if this question has ever been raised, but I don't know if might be silly, but I don't know if Donald Trump has ever driven a car. And you think about that. Like, this is somebody who's probably been chauffeured his entire life. I mean, I think the only time you've actually ever seen him behind a wheel was the time they brought that semi to the White House, and he got in the semi and he looked ridiculous,
Oh, that's a fucking funny notion, but I think you're right. Yeah.
And I believe him that when he says that he had some brother who died of cirrhosis, so he never drank, he never smoked. He says he also never sent an email or drank a cup of coffee. And it's like, yeah, I mean, his vice was like, he's a sex addict and everything. And so he's got his vice and everything, but it's like the man, like, he never drank, he never smoked. He just ate fast food and, was a sex addict.
If you want to paint a picture of bad people, all the good people I know drink and smoke a lot.
I was just a few hours ago. I was downtown in the little town I'm in, and I had my dogs with me. And this guy's and my dogs are little, and this guy's got his big, gigantic Doberman pinschers, and of course my dogs are barking at this guy's Doberman pinschers, and this guy, tank top, he's got the I don't know what you call those. He's got these tattoos that are like basically the equivalent of the modern day barbed wire, some sort of tough guy
Yeah, like
tattoos. He's probably 60 some.
tribal,
Yeah, something. I mean,
tribal tattoos.
some sort of, not exactly tribal, not even that cool, but he had a giant Q on him, and he had this shirt was like "We are Q," and I turned to my wife and I'm like, I kind of want to mess with him. I want to be like, hey, brother, the real election's on June 5th. We're meeting again. Or, like, I can't believe anybody would be dumb enough to still believe in that Q shit. I mean, it's one thing if they believed in it, 3 years ago or whatever, but like, after, like, it's over, buddy. Like, he's not there anymore. He's not in
Well,
office. There is no Q,
I don't even know if it's dumb enough is the right way to explain that. They just don't like you. And whatever it is they can identify to be on the other side of people like you, and they don't. It doesn't fucking matter if they believe it or not. You know, they just believe fuck you, and you're liberal fucking whatever it is they want to call you. Like they don't have to believe shit.
It's just going back to what I was saying earlier about like leaving the country years ago. You've come back and visited and everything, but you've been living overseas for basically a decade now.
Yeah, more than that, really. Like since '08, pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah, it's this country's just as fucked up as any other one. You know, that's the way of the world. Powerful people are not usually very good. Sadly, the truth. But I like living here, and I get to run my business. I mean, I started this fucking place with no money at all. I couldn't even imagine doing this in any city in the U.S. And I get to live in Bangkok, which is like one of the greatest fucking cities in the world, as far as I'm concerned. Got everything you want, and it's there's a huge bunch of police corruption and stuff like that going on here, but in some sense, that's kind of liberating.
Well, we don't have any police corruption here in the United States anymore.
Yeah.
The
No,
Obama got rid of all of that, and
thanks, Obama.
Yeah, it's sunshine and rainbows all the time.
Yeah, I'm surprised that unicorns aren't out on the street more often.
Oh, actually, no. Joe Biden has an $11 trillion unicorn package. And he said, well, it's going to cost 11 trillion right now for the first unicorn, and then the second unicorn. But the two unicorns are going to get it together, and they're going to make more. They're going to reproduce more unicorns.
It's the unicorn trickle down effect.
Wait, are those? I gotta ask. Behind you, are those screen prints behind you?
Screens to make screen prints. Yeah.
That's what I thought. I thought those are screens to make screen prints. Are you making T-shirts or posters?
Yeah, those are some T-shirts that a couple of the ones you can see. My roommate made those, but some of them are for my band's T-shirts and stuff. We just mess around with it. This is like my if you can see that it's all messed up. This is like my studio kind of room. It used to be my roommate's room, and it's just full of junk. I have a shop house that's like 4 floors, and it's just full of junk, pretty much.
Before we go, where would someone go to find your music? Do you have a website? Is it on Bandcamp or Spotify or?
Yeah, I'm on Bandcamp and Spotify. I actually tried to send you some MP3s, which I don't really know how to do. And then I ended up opening one of my CDs and I tried to rip it to my computer, and I still couldn't figure it out. But I am on on Spotify and Bandcamp, and I got a record label with my friends called Woo Records, WOOO. So you can go find our music there at WOOO-WOOO.com.
I actually have recently started a new MySpace page. You can find the Whiskey
You
Report.
can still do that?
You can do that. Yeah, everybody keeps like, what? You could do? Yeah, no. Here's the thing: here's the funny thing. So I realized I can. I realized I was like, wait a minute, I can start a MySpace, and I'll be like the only person on it in many ways. Like it's a digital wasteland where like I'm sure if you're producing something like it can become popular. But I also realized like nobody I know in the entire world has a MySpace account, so I don't know how I would add anybody or get any following. But
We all
maybe
used to have one.
yeah, but like the thing is, everybody started their MySpace, and they forgot their password, and they did it with an email that they haven't used in probably 15 years. So nobody has any ability. Like my original one's still out there. I have no idea how to access it. I'm kind of amazed. Like wow, it's still exists, and like I can see.
I'm not sure if you can. Like there's some music that I've released on MySpace that like that's the only place it exists. And
Well,
I don't know if it's
I'm
accessible.
I'm very much for the idea. I think we need to like, because I saw the movie Tenet, where there's like the reverse time travel and everything, and it got me thinking like, you know what, maybe we need to do that. Like we all need to start going backwards with our technology. Like, you know, instead of these smartphones, maybe we need to start going back to like Blackberries or like flip phones. And
Too much.
I have a behind me, I have a whole stack of old camcorders, like digital 8, high 8, VHS-C, and I actually have I have a device that I can use. So I'm going to start filming with those, and then they'll be instantly digitized, but they'll still have that old grainy like early 2000s look.
I'm all in for that, man. I got a whole shelf full of old cameras. You know, I've always liked to collect old cameras and shit. I've been a photographer, sort of, for many years now. I'm totally into that, man.
I want to go back to the VHS camcorder because I loved how it would sit over your shoulder and just it made you get that like actual like cameraman look to it.
Like
and you didn't need a tripod as much because your shoulder was stabilizing the thing, you know. And I'm gonna find somewhere out there. I'm gonna find a fully functioning VHS, and the best part is, I won't even need to use any VHS tapes because I can output the yellow, red, white auxiliary cables into my little digitizer box.
Your capture card or whatever.
Yeah.
Cool, man. I'm down.
Well, I wrote you a song. I thought it had pretty words, but you didn't sing along. It was one that you'd never heard. I said you had pretty eyes, and I was telling the truth. I said I thought you were nice. I guess I didn't get through. Would you like this song if you heard it on the radio? Would you like me more if I was someone that you didn't know? I guess so. See, I loved you last night from deep in my heart, but I just realized we were wrong from the start. You see, you fit in good, I get stuck outside, and I probably should try to choke down this pride. Would you like this song if you heard it on the radio? Would you like me more if I was someone that you didn't know? I guess so. A little nervous. Usually no one's paying attention.
You know, it's funny is like I and many people had problems with the guy they called him K-Nuts, the principal there at the time, and he was a very mean and vindictive person. And last year before the shutdown, my brother got married, and I go to his wedding, and I'm there with all these underclassmen who are my brother's grade, and they're telling me about how before the principal left, or I should say before the principal got fired, that guy went like way off the deep end, where he started like grabbing guys by the throat or like slamming guys up against, like getting violent. And I was like, what? Like, I mean, he may have grabbed somebody once or twice when I was there, but it wasn't to the point where he was like physically grabbing guys by the neck. And it was like, so I think one of these days I should do a documentary piece on the dark world of Gibraltar High School. And
expose, man. Didn't you like try to fucking sue him or something?
I never did. Oh, but he actually, funny thing was, in 2003, when I started filming anti-war footage and started doing interviews with people about the war and so forth, I had used my own VHS camcorder, and I had used the school's VHS camcorder that was borrowed to me. And somehow they found out about it. They actually found out about it after we had gotten egged and beat up one day protesting the war. People shot at us with a paintball gun, and they threw eggs at us, and they eventually physically attacked us. And the school found out about how we got attacked, and they also found out that we were using a school camcorder. And so they got so concerned about the footage, not what happened to us, but they got so concerned about the school's camcorder being used, they sat down my mom and my dad with this letter and the superintendent, and they're like, if your son ever uses any of the footage, we will sue him and he will be expelled. And also he is partially expelled, and he's got to go to the charter school that's in the district somehow. And that's why I got kicked out of Gibraltar, where I had to go finish out the rest of my senior year or junior and senior year in Sturgeon Bay at the charter school. And they had this whole thing like, oh, and also you have to hand over the footage that you shot. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I gave him a tape that like was just a bunch of stuff I was not planning on using. And the funniest part, and this is how my video journalism kind of took off, was I go to the charter school and they had this very nice, well, nice at the time, this Digital 8 camcorder. So I was jumping from VHS to Digital 8, and they had this Digital 8 camcorder, and I say, oh, what's that? And they're like, oh, that's the camcorder for students to use. And I was like, oh, so I can use that? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I do interviews. And they're like, oh, you can go interview people and use that for school credit. And
Right.
and that's where it kind of all led from there.
I fell in love, then I fell out, was high on drugs, then I came down, I fell in deep, now I can't climb out. I went around, then I came home. Some people were out, but I left them alone, 'cause that's one more chance that I've blown. But I really don't care if you show up, and I'll meet you there. Yeah. I was alright, then I went wrong. I stayed up all night writing this song. It was perfectly trite. Now it all came out wrong. I was okay, then I was gone.
Here we are now. Where are you at now, man? You got a nice little corner office going on there. Where are you
Yeah,
living
this is a closet that my wife didn't care too much about, and I'm like, can I just put all my electronics?
at? Set up shop.
Oh, but the funny thing is, I am actually building my own little sound booth right now. I've taken 3 pallets and I've drilled them all together, and I'm adding all this wood on. If you basically think of a sauna, I am building like basically like the look of a sauna, this big wooden box inside of my garage that I'm gonna have like a little desk inside of and all my equipment inside of. And then my plan is like come wintertime, I'm gonna go out there and be able to record, and it's gonna be my little captain's deck.
All right, man. Yeah, I'm trying. Like showed you around the room a bit. I'm trying to keep my shit together. I gotta sign another contract for this building next year, and I'm I'm pretty dug in, man. So I'm gonna try a little harder to make my place more of a studio. I record stuff here all the time, you know. And I got like, I'm right by the main road, so the fucking noise from trucks driving by. My house like shakes if a big truck drives by the overpass.
Well, you hear about all these like stand-up comics who are now doing they're because of COVID they're doing their shows outside. They'll be doing shows like in a parking lot or something, and then
Yeah.
it's like an airplane goes over in the middle of their show. Which I actually think the whole like doing stand-up comedy outside is kind of a cool thing, like
Like
it's
skateboarding, man. Take your
it's
art form to the street.
yeah, I used to it's funny, I used to do all sorts of artwork with sidewalk chalk in Madison, and
Yeah, I remember that.
I would make these large like murals out of, I mean, they're basically huge political cartoons in the street. And there was one time I got charged with graffiti, and another time a cop messed with me and gave me obstructing traffic, which was the funniest thing ever because like I was in the street and I got out of the way of him, and then he said, he wasn't even a city cop, he was a university cop. And I was an idiot and kind of gave him some lip. And I said, yeah, well, maybe you should worry about your own jurisdiction of the university. And then he's like, oh, that's the way you want to be about it. And then he parks his SUV in the middle of State Street, and all the buses are going to like slow down because they have to go around his SUV.
You're obstructing traffic.
Yeah, it's like he was the one obstructing traffic. And then he gave me a ticket for obstructing traffic. And there were like a half a dozen other times where, cops messed with me about using sidewalk chalk. And most of the time they would like check back and they'd realize, oh, there's a city ordinance that says you can use the sidewalk chalk. But I mean, I got messed with so many times for using sidewalk chalk. And then last year, after the riots and whatnot, like kids went up and down State Street writing on sides of buildings, fuck 1-2. We want, literally writing, we want, dead cops, spray painting, knocking out windows, all this. And like nobody got charged for graffiti when that. So it's like, and I know another guy who literally,
Miles.
strange times. I know another guy who also does sidewalk chalk. Before COVID happened, he got charged with graffiti for using sidewalk chalk near the Capitol. And this guy is real like simple, like as far as like he's just doing peace signs and like something about a politician. And he's been charged actually twice for sidewalk chalk. And it's like, okay, sidewalk chalk, they'll criminally charge you. Spray paint all over a building.
No big deal.
No big deal. Well, yeah.
What town are you in now, man? Are you in Madison now?
I am. I am. I don't say on the
Yeah,
internet.
really?
Only because I literally have been stalked by Antifa types, from time to time. But I'll say that I am just. I'll say that I'm about 20 minutes south of Madison.
All right. Okay.
Just and believe it or not, I mean the far crazies of the activist world in Madison, they show up at people's houses. Like they show up at the school board president's house, they show up at the mayor's house. Like it's a weird time. Like you can see the extremes on both political sides right now.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not there most of the time.
Yeah. It's I mean, one thing I've been talking with these interviews lately, I've been talking to a lot of people in New Zealand, and it's just like, it's amazing to see, like, when COVID started, they took it seriously and they shut down and they like closed down the borders, and they did what they needed to do, and they didn't have a massive COVID outbreak like any other country did. Like they had, where when countries are having thousands of cases, they had like, 2. And I think they've still, in the whole entirety of this whole thing, I think they've had like maybe less than 100 deaths and, less than 1,000 cases. It's probably even less than that. And they shut down to the point where, by April, May, they were still having music events with thousands of people. And so I got to talk.
Been a pretty good success story as far as all that.
Are you still there? Okay,
Yeah.
it was cutting out for a second, but yeah, no, I mean, and so I started talking to people in New Zealand about, how well they're able to handle all this stuff and how they got through it, and just realizing that there's this massive amount of different types of music in New Zealand, and you've got like heavy metal music, and you've got rap, and you've got a huge electronic scene there, and everything. And I've been interviewing one guy I've interviewed a couple times named Manu Francois, and he's from the Caribbean, and he started off playing like more like thrasher metal, and he does hip hop and rap and like I've so many different types. Maybe I want to say more reggae as well. I mean, just all sorts of genres of music this guy covers.
I'll have to look into that.
Could Christmas resolution.
Alright, and for those of you just tuning in, you are listening to The Whiskey Report. I am your host, Miles Kristen. This is, of course, on Corsair Radio, sponsored by Discourse Coffee Shop, a liquid space in Sister Bay, Wisconsin. And on today's episode of The Whiskey Report, we have been talking with and playing music by Matthew Fischer. He is a Door County musician who now lives in Bangkok, Thailand, where he actually owns his own bar restaurant called Fatty's. This was a nickname of him from years ago. His name's Matthew, but they call him Fatty because, well, frankly, because he used to roll the Fatty Bobaddies, as some people would say. It's a silly nickname that's stuck with him forever. And so he's got this place in Bangkok, Thailand called Fatty's. It's, like I said, a bar, restaurant. And up until this last year, it was also where he would be performing live music and have other musicians come and play. And, hopefully with the vaccines and everything, the conditions improve and we can go back to living a more normal life where we can go see music. And if you want to check out Matthew Fischer's work, just Google Matthew Fischer. That's Matthew, last name Fischer, Fischer. Matt Fischer is somebody that I met him 20 years ago and been friends with him ever since, and really hung out with him a lot back in high school, and it was a couple of years after when I lived up there in Door County, and thanks to Skype, I'm able to have a conversation with him as he is all the way over in Bangkok, Thailand. So before I get back to more music and interviews with Matt Fischer, just a quick reminder, to support Corsair Radio by, liking it on the social media like Facebook and so forth, and sharing the link to Corsair Radio to your friends. It's free. We're not asking for any donations. There's no cost for Corsair Radio. 24-hour streaming music, just a wide variety of different stuff. So do what you can to support Corsair Radio. And in a second, I'll go back to another song by Matt Fischer and the rest of the interview. Thank you for listening.
I keep wishing I would burn the house down. Been on the bottom, but I'm not saying that you let me down. Just miss you around. Been couch riding, I don't wanna clean the shit off my bed. Not been sleeping, I keep getting bad thoughts in my head. Why are you dead? Why are you dead? Why are you dead? Leaves are growing, but I don't feel so alive anymore. The wind's been blowing, I keep thinking that you brought this storm. And I remember all the times you kept me safe and warm. So safe and warm. So safe and warm. So safe and warm. Safe and warm. So safe and warm.
What was it like there? And when this all started, what was the lockdown there like?
Pretty bad. Like last year, there was like a ban of alcohol sale for like a month or so, which I think it's government playing games with people a lot, but we thought we were kind of out of the woods, I guess, for a while. And then now they just recently locked us down again. We're not allowed to have people in the restaurant. When we have in the past couple months, we're not allowed to sell alcohol, which it's kind of a crazy rule. Alcohol doesn't spread COVID, does it?
No, you're the only person. I've now talked to people in England and New Zealand and people from all over the United States, and I have not heard of anybody having alcohol restricted. I mean, in fact, when the original shutdown happened here in Wisconsin, the immediate thing they said was in the original lockdown was, we're going to close. We want everything to close, except for grocery stores, gas stations, and liquor stores. Was kind of like that was,
Right.
that liquor was definitely, I mean, I feel like even that liquor was like the biggest question. Like, okay, I've got food. What about liquor? And they're like, no.
Snack
We
liquor.
want you to stay home and drink, okay? Just
Right, yeah.
which
You can't tell it with Johnsonite that they can't drink. That would be an uproar, man.
I mean, I see the faults in both sides of like the Republicans and Democrats that they both did wrong, and it's so strange, like we shouldn't be kept up in our houses because like that makes us unhealthy, and then we're less likely to be able to fight the virus. At the same time, like, I also get like, yeah, don't go to a massive party, don't go traveling to Mexico right now, and don't go to Florida right now. And I mean,
Yeah,
the college kids were probably the worst about all of this in the end.
it's crazy, man. I mean, we don't really know what to do. That's the thing. Like, and and a lot of people have a lot of different opinions about what to do. And you know, this is America, so people get to have different opinions and do what they want to do and stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that, I guess. But no one fucking knows what to do. They still don't know what to do.
Turned away from you to a sea of black and blue, looking for something to build on, to tie us up and become one. But I should have known back then that I'm nothing without my best friend. I had the chance to spend my time happy there with you as mine. I thought that I could bring you here, and we could both beat down our fear, but it's not like how I planned. I can't reach to hold your hand. What I need I can't explain. I know that you don't need the same, but I can't help beg for you to serve me what I don't deserve. I opened all my doors to you. I guess you didn't want me to, but I'm here now. I can't go back through. I can only call you. Baby, I'm calling now. Jack, pound another nail, pound another nail, Jack in the garbage pail.
Do they have vaccines there?
Yeah, well, apparently they're starting to roll some out. It's all weird and convoluted, man. I don't really know what's going on. They said in the beginning of the vaccines coming out, they're like, yeah, everyone's going to get one for free. And now they're starting to open up some private clinics and shit that you can go pay for a vaccine. And, now everyone's getting tested now, which wasn't really happening in Thailand the whole time, kind of. And they're like trying to keep everything under wraps. Like, yeah, see, Thailand's doing really well. We don't have cases and stuff like that. And now everyone's getting tested. I've had several friends that tested positive for COVID with no symptoms, just because they're starting to give out all these tests now, And I don't know what's going on with this shit. And is it some sort of a ploy to convince people that they need to buy the vaccines now? Because somebody bought a big shipment, or somebody bought a big shipment of tests, or whatever.
It's so crazy. I mean, right now in the United States, it's I want to say something like it seems like at least 30% of the nation has had over 30% of the nation has gotten at least one vaccine shot, or there was there are the vaccines we require two, and there's the Johnson and Johnson that required one. And it seems like in the United States, you only have those three versions of a vaccine: Johnson and Johnson, Moderna, Pfizer. But you hear about the situation in Canada, and it's just like, wait, what? They're like, Canada's way behind the United States, and it's strange to me, like, that the United States did so poorly in all of this for the first year, and now in the last few months, it's like, oh wait, but the vaccine got like put out incredibly fast. As far as like once it was available, it actually within this last 3 months. It's something about apparently when Trump left and this other guy took over, things somehow improved. It's a crazy thing.
I don't know, man. I'm not much of a conspiracy theorist or whatever. I try not to think too deeply about this stuff because it upsets me. But who fucking knows, man?
Yeah, I agree. I would agree there. I would agree there.
Okay.
Something's weird.
Something. There's so much weird stuff, and there's so many rabbit holes in all of this. Okay. Before we close out the hour, again, how can people find your music, Maddie?
Yeah, you can just find me on Spotify or Bandcamp. I think I make more money if you download the record off Bandcamp, which is still none. But yeah, I'm out there. Google me, Matthew Fischer. I hope you can find the music and listen to it. I think I'm on iTunes. So, but yeah, I'm just here trying to do my thing. If anyone hears this and wants to support me as an artist, hit me up. I accept various forms of currency.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Ya, kita malam ini ada di Ferris bersama teman-teman orang-orang aneh semua di sini. Semuanya nggak ada yang mengerti apa yang dilakukan di sini. Yang minum silakan minum, yang makan silakan makan.
I need to lie to myself to prove that I'm not somebody else, the same old me, living in this hell. I need to go out now, but I don't wanna go up or down. No, I don't wanna go up or down somehow. I need to prove to you that I don't want nobody knew that I gave up when I met you on love. I need to hurt myself, 'cause I can't hurt nobody else. I tried so hard, but nobody else will love me like you used to now. But you're not holding me down. You're not coming around. Now I need to lie to you, 'cause I don't want to tell the truth, and I don't want to tell you what to do. I can't live like this, no, I can't live like a dying fish upon the shores of your broken heart. I don't wanna go back now, I just wanna go ahead somehow. I just wanna find a new way out of me. New way out of me. I need to kill myself, 'cause I can't kill nobody else. I tried so hard, nobody else will love me like you used to now. But you're not holding me down. You're not coming around. Now I need to love myself, 'cause I can't love nobody else. I try and scream, but trying you, but no one's ever listening to me. It's blood and tears, no sweat, 'cause I gave up when we first met. Yeah, I gave up when we first met on love.
Something to show you that's clear. Just come over here and come home. I've been feeling alone. Why don't you give me a call? We can talk about nothing at all. Just give me a call on the phone. Why don't you write me a note? I've been thinking you will, but you won't. That you care, but you don't wanna know. I've been sinking so low. But I promised I'd remember, but I won't. I remember it now, but there's still quite a while to go. Why don't you refresh my mind and help me remember that time when everything's fine. Now you're gone, and I'm singing this song. You're gone so far away, where I can't understand what they say, but I didn't belong anyway. They all think I'm gay, but I promised I'd remember, but I won't. I remember it now, but there's still quite a while to go. Bring on the hammers, bring on the nails, bring on the hammer, bring on the nail. Pound another nail, Jack, pound another nail, pound another nail, Jack, pound another Jack. Bring on the whiskey, bring on the beer, bring on the scissors, bring on the shear. Pull that wool over, pull that wool down, pull that wool over, have another round. 'Cause I'm tired and I wanna lay down, making my bed, won't be long now. I'll get some sleep. It's the death of me, the death of me. Bring on the smoke and bring on the mirror, bring on the whiskey, bring on the fears. Bring on the pine wood, bring on the pitch, bring on the pine wood, bring on the pitch. Seal it up tight, Jack, seal it up tight, seal it up tight, Jack, to last me through the night. 'Cause I'm tired and I wanna lay down, making my bed, won't be long now. I'll get some sleep. If it's the death of me, the death of me. Bring on the hammer, bring on the nails, bring on the hammer, bring on the nail. Pound another nail. I tore out my back pages when I was younger than I'm now. A wise man's curiosity, philosophies abound. It's one alone in its truest sense as another in the crowd. And bedtime stories lead to death. My blankets are a shroud. The mayfly's 30-minute life is probably more profound. Truly pure, but I'm still here. I gave up on questioning. I've got it figured out. There's you and me, the rest are things I don't care much about. We'll smile when we feel happy and sometimes laugh out loud. We'll lie down on our backs and drink when rain falls in our mouths.
Okay, everybody, that will wrap up today's episode of the Whiskey Report. We were listening to music by Matthew Fischer. You can check out his work just by looking up Matthew, last name Fischer, Matthew Fischer. Check out his work, and thank you for listening.